Hey everybody, it is late at night and I'm Norman. The other day, the founder and owner of a watch company called Beau Bleu out of France reached out to me because he had a watch that he was willing to lend to the channel for me to review. And this is the super creative, super brilliant watch that he sent. So let's review this. Alright, so here is the box that the watch was shipped in. It's kind of large. This slides out. We have Beau Bleu limited edition. And I think this watch is limited to 888 pieces, if I remember correctly. The brand is from Paris. We have the sheet here, hand signed by Nicholas, who's the founder. And he also sent a blue crocodile strap, or alligator strap. I haven't yet put this strap on. I'll probably do that and do like a follow-up video on it. Just kind of show what it looks like on a dressier strap. Very cool. And here is the Beau Bleu watch that was sent to me. I requested the silver dial variant because it looks so great. This watch is super unique. And I think because of that, it may be kind of divisive. Some of you will love it, some of you will not. But it's a great looking watch. This is part of their Vitruve line, or Vitruve, however it's pronounced. This is on a Milanese strap that absolutely hugs the case. I mean, that is a perfect fit right there. Very cool. It has a flat end on here. And it's a similar style to the one that the Serica 5303 ships on. So this functions just the same. You tuck this into here, and it goes up underneath it. And the cool thing about straps like this is you can always get that size absolutely dialed in every time you wear it. And if it's cold out and your wrist shrinks a bit, you can always just pop this open, cinch it up a little bit, and then close it. Very cool. And this is a quick release strap, which is nice. Looking at the lugs. They come down nicely here, kind of angle in just a touch. The case itself is really cool. I like the details on the side here. And it's not terribly thick. This is a really nicely sized watch. It's 39 millimeters. However, the way it wears, I actually had to double check the specs because I thought maybe it was a 37. Looking at the case back, we see that it has a display window there. And it has screws around the edge here. It's a very cool and unique case back. I like it. The movement has some nice decoration on it here and there. You can kind of see it there. It's not overly ornate, but it looks really nice. So when Nicholas reached out to me, he wanted to do a phone call, and so I talked with him for a while, and we had a great conversation. And I didn't want to mention anything about Serica, because I didn't really want to be that guy who's like, oh, wait, you're in France, and Serica is a French watch brand? You must know each other. But it turns out they do know each other, because it came up in conversation. And Serica is headquartered about 3 streets away from Beau Bleu, so they actually do lunch together every now and then. I asked him if they share design ideas a bit, because when I saw this bezel, I thought of Serica. It kind of has a hint of a similar design language, but this watch is totally unique, and it's cool that both of these brands have such a distinctive language when it comes to the aesthetics of their watches. That's pretty cool. This bezel is brushed on the top, polished on the side, and we see a lot of polishing around the edges here. I like the way this is really classy looking and kind of dressy and yet sporty at the same time. We have a signed crown here, so let's see what it's like to operate this watch. And yes, we will definitely get to the hands because that is a conversation starter right there. So we pop this out. That is crazy looking. It's pretty wild setting this watch. Winding it is nice and smooth. So far, my only gripe with this watch is that date window. Look at how small that is. In fact, let me zoom in, because you almost need a loop to read the date. It was actually pretty difficult to set it. I had to wait till it was on an obvious number and then just kind of keep track of where I was. I like the way it's dark and kind of fits in with the design. It doesn't look like an afterthought, which is usually my beef with date windows. We have Paris down there. That's a cool touch. All right, let's set this date. It's nicely centered in there. Let's watch this date in action. There we go. So right at midnight it flips over, but it does start changing a little bit before. And this movement does hack. There goes that seconds hand. And speaking of hands, I personally actually really like these hands. They remind me of the Avant-Garde watch. I forget who makes that off the top of my head, but that piece also has a round hand. Very abstract. Now, it is a challenge to tell the time on this watch. You have to kind of get used to those hands. And at times it's a little bit confusing because they're all kind of overlapping. But what a cool aesthetic. The seconds hand is blued, which is an amazing touch. I like these rounded indices. They fit nicely with the aesthetic of this watch. The font on the numeric indices is really cool as well. And they even have the brand name on the same curve as the rest of the indices. This is a very cool watch, actually. I'm sad that it's a limited edition, so I won't be able to add one to the collection. If it wasn't a limited edition, I would actually ponder adding this to my collection. Even though it's not really my style, it looks amazing, and it's such a fun watch. Those hands are so crazy. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 39mm, the case height is 11mm, the lug-to-lug is 45mm, the lug width is 20mm, the case is 316L stainless steel, the crystal is sapphire, the movement inside this is a Miyota 9015, the water resistance is 30 meters. So it kind of has a dress watch level of water resistance, but it is kind of dressy / sporty, kind of an everyday wear style watch. Alright, so let me take off my Hamilton Bolton, and we'll see what it's like when you're wearing this super unique watch. Here is the Beau Bleu on my 7-inch wrist. I love all the silver on this one. The brushing on that dial is so cool. And just look at how it wears. It doesn't look large at all. It's not overly thick. It's such a crazy aesthetic. This is a super cool looking watch. I'll be sure to include a link to their website so you can check out all the other colorways that are available. And if you do like this watch, you can kind of keep your eye on this brand. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the future. I love the little notches on the hands so you can kind of tell what they're pointing at. Otherwise it'd be kind of like a Movado, you'd have to just kind of guess. That is so cool of Nicholas to reach out to me and allow me to share this with you all. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to put this on the other strap and I'll do a follow-up video on this. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side with the Serica, so you can kind of see two different French watch brands and their design language, because they're both very unique and fun and just really brilliant. There's a slight dome to this crystal, by the way, which really adds to the look of this watch. It's subtle, but I feel like if it was a flat crystal, it just wouldn't be quite as cool. Yeah, just that subtle dome is perfect with this aesthetic. I love the silver variant. So cool. That's awesome. So there you have it. A great, maybe a bit divisive watch out of France with its own design language, kind of like Serica has. And it's pretty cool that both founders are actually friends. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this brand because this watch is absolutely brilliant. If it wasn't a limited edition, I could actually see myself adding it to the collection. Thanks for watching.